Shouldn't the steps have been a little closer together?
They're close enough. There we are. Well, how do you like it? The only treehouse in the neighborhood.
Oh, boy, is this ever super. Hey, Mom, come and see my treehouse. It's all finished. Dad, this is swell. Come on up.
Come on up. I've been up 100 times while I was building it.
Well, that's quite a lookout you've got up there. You did a nice job, dear. I didn't realize we had such a good carpenter in the family.
Hey, Mom, can I have my lunch up here sometime?
Maybe, on some special occasion. We'll see.
Isn't it neat, Mom? Wait till the fellas see it. And Butch. Boy, this will show him. He can keep his old racer.
Well, what does Butch's racer have to do with your treehouse?
He wouldn't let me ride it yesterday. And I asked him real nice, too.
Well, what's so special about riding in Butch's racer? It's just an old homemade contraption with some bicycle wheels on a box.
Yeah, but it goes real fast. You ought to see us kids coast down the hill behind the grocery store. But yesterday, Butch wouldn't let me have a single ride. So now, I'm not going to let him play in my treehouse. Nobody can play in it unless I say so. It's mine.
Well, Stevie, you know better than that.
That's right. You mustn't be selfish about it.
Well, Butch was selfish, wasn't he?
Are you sure? Or maybe there was some reason for Butch not letting you use his racer.
Just the same, I'm not going to let him play in my treehouse.
Stevie, you mustn't be so selfish.
It's my treehouse, isn't it, Dad? I can do what I want with it. Can't I?
Well, I want you to have fun in it. That's why I built it. When I was a boy, I always wanted a tree house. And a boy down the street from us had one. And everybody used to play in his backyard. Why, he was king of the block.
Oh, boy! That's what I'll be. King of the block. King of the block.
Now, careful, Your Majesty, or your crown won't fit your head.
Oh, he's just excited. He'll simmer down as soon as the novelty wears off.
Look, a treehouse. That's what all the hammering was about. Yeah, it's swell. You stay away from there, Butch. Hi, Steve. Where'd you get the treehouse? I built it, Dad and me. And you can't play in it, Butch. Why not? Because I say so. It's my treehouse. Well, why won't you let me? Because you wouldn't let me ride in your old racer yesterday. Oh, that. It had a wobbly wheel, and Dad made me promise not to let anybody ride in it until it was fixed. But you can ride in it all you want after it's fixed. Who wants to ride in your old boxcar anyhow? It's lots more fun in a treehouse. You want to come on up, Rod? What about Butch? Can't he come too? No, it's my treehouse, and nobody can play in it unless I say so. But you can, Rod. Come on, it's real neat up here. Come on, Rod. Hey, Rod, I've got a swell idea. Yeah, what about it? Go bring it up here. Why? You'll see. Go get it. And bring up that rope over by the clothesline, too. Okay. Here you are. But what's the matter with you helping me get them? It's my treehouse, isn't it? Who said it wasn't? Well, I can't carry this up the ladder. Well, bring up the rope. Here, you take one end and tie it to the box. See? Now I've got an elevator. It'll haul things up and down. Let me try it. Not now. First go ask my mother for some oranges. I'll lower my elevator down to get them. You ask her. It's your mother. It's my treehouse, and if you don't do what I say, you can't play in it. Okay, then I won't play in it. And you could get your own oranges, too. You're too bossy. Hey, Mom!
She's over at the neighbors, and stop shouting. What were you saying, Joe? But there's no fish in that lake. Well, I don't care what they heard. It still doesn't compare to Rocky Point. Look, Joe, it's my boat and my motor. And I don't see any sense in dragging him up to some lake where there's no fish. Okay, then you fellas go by yourselves. Well, you having fun in your new treehouse?
Sure, Dad. It's neat. I know, Butch. Let's play marbles. You got any? I did have, but they're all lost. I'll loan you some of mine.
David!
Out in the garage.
Joe's on the phone. He wants you to reconsider going up to Gull Lake with the rest of the group. He says they don't like to leave without you.
Without my motor is what he means. If I don't go, they're gonna have to row by hand, and all they'll show for it is a bunch of blisters. Keep telling them there's no fish where they're going.
But what about Joe? He's waiting on the phone.
Oh, tell him I'll call him back as soon as I get this gear packed.
All right.
Well, hi, boy. Why aren't you playing in your treehouse?
It's no fun by myself.
What do you mean by yourself? Aren't any of the other boys around?
Butch and Rod came, but I wouldn't let Butch in my treehouse because he wouldn't let me ride his racer yesterday.
Well, you're not still worried about that.
No, I found out why he wouldn't let me. The wheel was wobbly, and his dad said nobody would ride it until it was fixed.
Well, a wobbly wheel can be dangerous, son. What about Rodney? Why isn't he playing with you?
He wouldn't do what I told him to.
Well, you weren't bossy with him.
Well, it's my treehouse.
I know, son, but you can't expect the other kids to play with you if you're going to try and boss them around. Hey, how about it? You want to go fishing with me?
Are you all alone, too?
Well, what do you mean by that?
I heard you on the phone. Mr. Blakely wouldn't go to your lake, so he doesn't get to use your motor. Huh?
Well, it's not exactly that. It's the fish. There just aren't any fish where they're going.
Oh.
But there are where I'm going. How about it? You want to pull in a few?
No, I guess not, Dad. Thanks anyway.
Well, why not? You haven't got anything else to do. There's no one to play with, you say.
Maybe if I tell him I don't want to be boss, maybe Butch and Rod will play with me again. Your shot, Butch. Look, there's old Selfish. Yeah. What's the matter? Somebody chopped down your treehouse? No, it's still there. I was just wondering if you fellas wanted to come over and play. Why? So you can order us around? No, I don't want to be boss anymore. It's nice and cool up there, and you can see for miles. Let's go the treehouse is a slowpoke.
Where's Stevie? I thought our backyard was to be the neighborhood hangout. No one's been there yet. Wonder what's the matter.
I think I know. I just had a little talk with Steve.
Well, it seems to me he's been acting awfully selfish lately.
I know. I think it's a case of eye trouble, and I'm afraid I set the example.
David.
Hurry up, Rod. Don't be a slowpoke.
Looks like the treehouse finally has some customers.
Joe? David? Am I too late to go along to Gull Lake with you? Sure. Anytime you say.
This is super, isn't it, Butch? I'll say. What's that I see heading this way? Maybe it's a spaceship from another planet. Or a boat coming full steam ahead. Yeah, it's a pirate boat, and this is a lighthouse. Sure, this is a lighthouse, and we've got to warn the ships away. But this isn't a lighthouse. Okay, it's a lighthouse for today. And say, fellas, I'll go get my telescope and send it up on the elevator. Oh, boy, this elevator's swell. Here, let me do it. Okay, I'll go get my telescope.
Looks as though the king of the block has given up his crown. You know, sometimes we're really proud of our children. At least some of the time. Steve. You know, just because we're a Christian family doesn't mean that our children are perfect, nor that we as parents are perfect. But we do know that selfishness is certainly the opposite of everything Christ came to teach us. And here's where the Christian home makes the big difference. Because we have Christ to constantly remind us of God's unselfish love for each one of us when he sent his only Son to be our Savior and Lord. It's hard sometimes to make a home as unselfish as it should be, but with God's love, with prayer, and with understanding, we can do it.